This is Gull Khan, your money mindset expert. And once again, we have the amazing Dorothy Villeneuve. Welcome, Dorothy.
Hello, glad to be back. Thanks, Gull.
Thank you so much for being such an amazing guest on Friday Feature. We had to have you back for Money Talkies. Dorothy, everyone's heard your intro, but please, in your own words, tell everybody what it is that you do.
I am a sales and marketing consultant. I help six-figure online women entrepreneurs to zero in on their zone of brilliance, simplify and increase their sales, and finally get all their fancy funnels and copywriting done, even if they dread tech or they feel scattered in their business.
Wonderful. And this leads us on to today's topic, which is 6 steps to simple sales. So what's the first step, Dorothy?
Yeah, I use my simple framework to help people create sales when they don't have all of maybe the infrastructure set up, that sort of thing is exactly what I did when I had to figure things out. And I was overwhelmed and frustrated. So I use the acronym SIMPLE because I love it.
Mm-hmm.
So the first thing that I help my clients figure out is that they need to look at things with a sales mindset. It's a different pair of glasses. It's a lens that they need to approach. A lot of times people don't see their value. They don't see what they do as, something that someone else wants to invest in or buy or collapse the time learning to create. So I want them to look at everything from a sales mindset and to realize that that is a powerful way to help someone else out.
Okay, so what would be the first step to just repeat that again? Is that what's the first step?
The first step is to look at everything through the lens of sales. So instead of looking at things as if they're not a value for you, they look at it through a lens of sales, meaning they look at the things that they offer into the world or the knowledge they have, the unique intersection
Okay.
of their passion and
Okay.
profit.
Okay. So now I understand what you mean. So instead of looking upon something in the way that, oh, I like this because I'm so good at this, and I think this is, for example, I'm an energy healer. So when I know how important cord cutting is, and let's use that as an example, because I think it's better to explain it a bit more further. So I know how valuable cord cutting is. I know people should be doing it, and how much better it is for them, etc. But my clients who've never heard of cord cutting, or when they don't know, how they can help them, make more money or not have money, or what, how we can help their mindset, would not have a clue. So then I have to present cord cutting in a way that allows people to understand how that technique or that tool is going to help them further their sales, have better relationships, have better health, whatever area I'm selling it in for. And this is important for you to have that vision first, rather than me thinking, cord cutting is the most amazing things in this world. This is how you do it. And it's, cutting your thyroid cords and blah, blah, blah. So instead of talking about the features of my my cord cutting and the technique I'm using, or whatever service I'm offering, I need to start seeing it from the client's point of view. What do they want to hear, and how do they want to see this? So basically, rather than talk about features, we're talking about the benefits. This will help you do. Is that what you're talking about?
Yes, very much so. Basically, one of the things that I try and tell people to kind of communicate, because a lot of us come into this world thinking that people buy what we do, but they
Yes.
don't.
Mm.
They buy what problems you solve. And so
Mm.
when you look at things through that lens of sales, you start to think of what kind of problems are really hurting people at night? What's keeping them up until 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning? What's making them pull their hair out? What's waking them up and giving them the sweats, right? And making them stress out. Those are the sorts of things that they always talk about vitamins and painkillers, right? If someone will, yeah, sure, they'll buy vitamins because they know they're good for them, but they'll invest in painkillers because they have to solve that problem of that migraine. They're not
Mm.
going to not take it. So when you look at things through the sales lens, sometimes we're offering things like what you just said. You're offering your cord cutting, right? And you're saying to somebody, this is amazing. It's so wonderful. I'm an energy healer. Cord cutting is going to change your life. That doesn't work because they're like, great, cord cutting. But you were able to explain why cord cutting is so valuable to them, what it's going to change for them, how it's going to solve the problem of making money, right? Which is the thing
Mm.
that's keeping them up at night. That's what they want. So when we pivot that and look at it that way, it gives them the opportunity to see that it through the lens of sales in a way that doesn't feel like, oh my gosh, I have to make money. I hate sales. I'm not interested in doing that. It's allowing them to put on that different set of glasses
Mm.
and see sales in a way that's positive, see it in a way that's collapsing that time for people.
Mm. And I think that's very important. Okay, so that's step number one. What's step number two?
Step number 2 is implement daily. So I for implement daily. And when I talk about that, the very first thing people think is, oh, they slap their head and they're like, geez, you mean I've got to do all kinds of social media content every day? I've got to show up consistently, that sort of thing. That's absolutely not it. What I want people to do when they implement daily is to do the critical things that grow your business. So I want you having conversations. I want you talking to people and doing your market research. If you haven't yet made a lot of sales or you're looking to up level the price that you're charging, the volume of people you do work with, have a group program, that sort of thing, you want to be talking to people about it. You want to be sharing it on social media and saying, hey, would anyone be interested in this? And you also want to be doing one of my like superhuman strengths is any of the paid groups I'm in, any of the communities where I've created, a lot of relationships and things like that, I'm in there. I'm talking to the people. I'm communicating with them. I'm seeing what questions they're asking, and I'm implementing my feedback to them on a daily basis, and then getting in one-to-one conversations. So instead of focusing on content creation, which I consider passive selling, I want people to implement daily the business building strategies that create clients for them rather than relying on clients finding them. So doing things every day, like getting in conversations with people, asking curious questions, and looking into the places where your ideal clients are to, showcase yourself and actually talk to them.
Okay. Okay. So that's important. So implement daily. Okay, that's step number 2. What's step number 3?
Step number 3 is M for you want to do your sales mindset, you want to implement daily, and then you need to monetize your value. So you need to look at everything and think, okay, what's the intersection between what I know how to do and what I love and what actually produces value for people that they're going to want to buy? And you start sharing that with people. You start talking about how your value is valuable to them, how you're going to monetize it. You put a price point on it and you actually sell it. So in the beginning, I was selling coaching, like we talked about, and that is not valuable to people, right? They don't want to buy coaching, they wanted to buy solutions. So when I started to monetize my value by packaging it up and saying, I can increase your sales, I can simplify your business, I can get your sales page written, or I can write you a copywriting sequence for your nurture emails so you never have to think about email again. It went from coaching to creating a solution for them. So monetizing your value and packaging it up in a way that makes sense and speaks to the result that they're looking for, rather than selling what you do, sell what results you can create.
Okay. That's step number, monetizing your values. That's step number 3. What's step number 4?
Produce value. Produce value means you're going out and you're creating value for people. And this is your social media content. This is your opt-ins. This is the things like what we're doing right now, right? You've got a podcast and you're sharing with people some value, some insights, some things like that. Are they able to step away from your particular podcast and achieve success? Awesome. Great. Good for them. 99.9% of people need the support, need the help, need the detailed instructions. They have a lot of questions to ask. So never be afraid of producing value. I've created all kinds of resources and assets. I do weekly videos inside my Facebook group to produce value, to showcase it, and talk to people about the important beliefs and mindset shifts and myths and misconceptions they have. That type of value that you give away from your heart, that feels good to people, but helps them to understand how to achieve the success they want without, asking or putting up a paywall for it and not holding all this mystery, right? We always will be able to work with people and be paid for our services when we produce value on the front end and they start to recognize that there's no mystery to this. There's just a solution, right? And they're going to need help to get to the solution. So producing value for me is doing those sorts of things. It's creating assets, whether it be your opt-in, right? Or whether it be just you in a group interacting with the community and adding value in the community. I've done that a lot in communities. For a good example, like product launch formula, I'm often in there and I'm talking to people and I'm helping them with like maybe a hook or a headline for their opt-in. It's created clients for me because they're like, if you're this great about this sort of copy, if you can do this quickly and you can translate what my client needs to hear in order to create conversions for me, what do you like if I actually work with you? And it's stupidly simple, but that's what you need to do. People need to see you and have you showcase for them that you are valuable, that you do have a skill set, and they need to see how you're unique in order to be attracted to and want to make sales, right? Want to buy from you.
Yeah, so produce value. I think this is all going via organic, the organic route, right? So you're talking more rather paid.
Yes.
So I want
Yes,
to
100%.
clarify. Yeah. Okay. This is for the organic, because I think a lot of people get afraid of organic, and or people like me who are super busy and think, oh, let me just do paid advertising, and they can see an ad and they can come to my page and whatever else. You know, doing organic work seems hard work. And what would you say to that? So, you know, do you think that's a mindset thing, that, you know, or doing organic marketing is harder than being the paid one? Or even though you're with the paid one, you have to look at the ads, you have to see what value you give in the ads and so forth. So it's not that difficult, different, rather, I should say. But you know, I think this is one of my hangups. I keep thinking organic. I thought I did this in 2018. I'm well above that now. I should go past it now. I shouldn't really have to do organic marketing anymore. What would your response be to that? So, you know, in terms of adding value or producing value.
I think that there is proof of concept that lies in organic marketing. And if you try to go to ads before you have a proven concept that's validated, oftentimes I've had clients come to me and they've been running ads for a really long time to an opt-in that just isn't converting, or to offers that they are expecting people to pay them without knowing them, sort of thing. If they haven't done the work of like getting featured and being a name that people recognize, oftentimes those paid ads can cost them a lot more money than they need to. You don't need to go organic for forever, and you don't need to go organic long term, but you do need to go organic to validate your concepts. And for instance, for me, like a recent workshop I did validated the concept in a very short amount of time with about 14 people. I now know I can run that as an evergreen ad to that particular workshop and use those testimonials and create a lot more money than if I just went out and tried to create it as a paid offer on the front end through marketing. People running Facebook ads, I have opinions about this out the wazoo, but when you're running Facebook ads and you haven't validated your offer, yes, you are potentially throwing money away, but two, a lot of people don't actually know how to run Facebook ads correctly, because right now you should be running Facebook ads to lead gen. You should be working inside the Facebook system with what Facebook wants from you. So Facebook wants people to stay on Facebook. So are your ads keeping them there, or are your ads bopping them out to your paid service and your funnel and all that sort of thing? That's going to create way less conversions for you for a Facebook ad, cost you a lot more money, which is fine. If you've got the money to invest in ads, go for it, and not create as many high quality leads for you.
Okay.
Doesn't build you the same kind of quality audiences, that sort of thing. So if people were to use Facebook ads in a different way, where it starts reducing the price point again, which is happening right now, a lot of big companies have moved away from paid marketing, not because of what we think, not because of the pandemic, not because of, marketing budgets being slashed, nothing like that. They've started moving away because what they're discovering is the TikTok of the world. That organic marketing works really, really well. That user generated content, that feeling like you know someone, that is what's working nowadays. And a lot more people are moving into that arena and want to be part of that. The fun part as entrepreneurs, as individuals, as not large marketing behemoths, is that we can pivot really quickly. We can change, we can adapt, we can offer nuanced, specialized, custom services to people that these big companies can't. They can't become us. They can't be as organic and as personable as us. And people nowadays, after this big dirge of not being able to, communicate and be with people for a long time, they want that. They want to be in contact with someone. They want to trust a company, right? And that is value in organic in and of itself. You'd rather be, a big fish in a small pond than you would be a, small fish in a big pond.
Yeah.
You got to look at it that way.
Yeah. And I think that's very, very important. But isn't that more to do with niching down? If you, to be, I totally adhere to the philosophy. You should be a big fish in a small pond, and you don't need that many clients to actually make a lot of money, to be honest. So, but that's more for niching down strategy rather than organic or paid, isn't it?
It is, but I do think if you're going to be out there marketing organic and you're not talking to a particular audience about their particular problems, you're going to have some problems too. If you're a generic, they're not interested.
Oh yeah.
You can't get away with that anymore because you
Mm,
have to talk to your people, the right
yeah.
people. And
Yeah.
organic marketing can help build that for you. Once you have that organic marketing like web built and the things done, if you want to go to paid, if you need to go to paid, if you're not, succeeding with referral business and that sort of thing, which eventually peters out, right?
Mm,
It does. Referral business won't last you your entire life
mm,
unless you're out there and networking and things like that. But the amount of time that I spend doing organic marketing in a day is about 30 to 45 minutes a day.
okay.
So if people don't have 30 to 45 minutes a day to work on their business, to work in their business for themselves, then I get concerned that maybe they don't have time to run a business, right? Most people are doing it in a way that it's taking them too long. They don't set boundaries on it. They don't
Mm,
have a system to go through, that sort of thing. So that's one of the things that I think is really important too when you're producing that value and when you're doing your organic marketing strategy is to realize that you shouldn't be living on Facebook. You shouldn't have your phone on Instagram all the time. You shouldn't have all your notifications turned on. You should be putting it down and you should be walking away.
mm,
Or you should be doing what's really important, which is working with your clients, right? And creating
mm.
results for them and doing the work you love and staying inside your brilliance zone.
I think that comes more down to managing your time, managing your activities during your day, and planning your how long you're going to be on a particular platform and what you're going to be doing. I agree. I think even if I think it's the mismanagement of time and organization which falls for that. When people say they don't have time for organic marketing, you can do half an hour or 20 minutes live. And we have platforms where I think like StreamYard and a few others where you can go live on one and they can be broadcast to multiple platforms like YouTube and LinkedIn and Facebook and so forth. There are many opportunities out there today. And also TikTok is one of the fastest growing platforms at the moment. So yeah, I think there's different avenues and it's more management of time rather than actually ability to do it. Okay,
Yeah.
so that's number 4. What's the 5th step?
It's L for leverage simple systems. So when I first started, I invested in way too many things. And then when I meet my clients, they've got usually a couple learning management softwares that they're using because they have the one they started with and then they the one that they grew up and grew into and all these different things going on. They have email service providers that are hodgepodge together. They're manually doing things instead of having automations or systems, workflows, things like that. So leverage simple systems to me is I have had many clients come to me and sell off of a Google Doc
Hmm.
in an email to their audience, right? You need a payment processor, something like a Stripe or PayPal, right?
Mm-hmm.
You need a payment processor. You need an email service provider that you can collect and grow your list because that's the number one thing you own on the online world, right?
Mm-hmm.
You don't own anything else. You don't own your followers. You don't know that those platforms aren't going to disappear. And then once you have that, basically you just need to be able to give them somewhere to read about your offers, and that can be a Google Doc. So if you want to start making money and keep your business on the profitability side, you don't need all the bells and whistles. You don't need the fancy things. You need proof of concept and validation. You need clients working with you. You need to be creating results. You need to give them a simple, system that they can work inside that can create those results. And you need something like Zoom, right? You need some way to talk to them. And I mean, you can use Google Meet if you want to. You don't have to pay for a bunch of things. What I find is that marketing is powerful. People
Mm-hmm.
get marketed all these solutions. They think they need all these different apps, all these different softwares, all these different things in order to be, a real business owner that offers a real service. And it's much, much more efficient and much better. Actually, one of my clients is a profitability strategist, and she only accepts PayPal as payment. She
Mm-hmm.
doesn't accept anything else, right? She just has it simple, and she makes more money than most of the entrepreneurs I know. And her systems in the back end, we've worked together for, oh gosh, like 3.5 years now, and super streamlined, super slick. Nothing is getting out of her, no one's escaping her particular marketing and that sort of thing. But all it is PayPal. She's got a learning management software. She's got emails she sends out. Everything's evergreen. Everything's just chugging along and running, and it's creating clients for her and giving her freedom. And she's making money while she's doing it.
Mm. And I think that's I think leveraging time and systems are very important. Other people's time. I think I think you can, when you're first starting off, yes, you can. Obviously you're doing everything yourself. You can leverage just as Apple apps and systems. But I think as you sort of go ahead and start making the money, you can have a VA at least. I mean, as soon as possible, people should get a VA. And start delegating some other tasks, so that you're not working in the business as much as you work on the business. I think that's
And learning how to delegate is a skill set that a lot of us were bad at. I find that a lot of people don't relinquish control of the things that they just don't need to be doing. I had a client who was constantly like meddling in her VA's content creation, like graphics and things like that. I'm like, what are you doing? Like, could you not be spending that 20 minutes talking to clients, prospecting, that sort of thing, and networking, or getting out, writing yourself a LinkedIn article, or commenting on some things on LinkedIn? Like, what are you doing? Why are you messing with the colors of your graphics? Like, that's not where your value is. And so learning how to relinquish that control is really, it's a challenge for people too. And then having the trust that you can hire the right person that can do that stuff for you and kind of speak in your voice or get those things done in the background while you're doing the right things.
Yeah, I think that comes with time. And I think that, and you have to go through experience, and you are, when you delegate, when you're looking for team members, you are working with human beings, and that's no different from being in the corporate job. We know the HR departments, and they churn so many people out and whatever, because they, that's human interactions, and people will be people. I had one of my VAs, amazing young girl, like really, really amazing. And she worked with me for 2 years, and her voice was amazing. She just knew what to do for my quotes, what to pick up for my articles, and the colors and everything was just absolutely spot on. A really, really amazing girl. And I don't know, I think her grandma passed away, and she just changed all of a sudden. I think she had a lot of difficulty, and I did see a bereavement, but I didn't see it was that big. I don't know, because she's in a different country. I don't know. I gave it as much importance as I thought. We gave her time, we gave her space. She never returned. She left because after her grandma passed away, and she never returned, and she didn't say bye to us or give a notice, anything. And that's one of the things you are with the online. So even though we had contracts in place and whatever else, but this is part and parcel of the online space. So you are dealing with human beings, and they have bereavements, and they have breakdowns and other things, like we do in a corporate world. You have colleagues, right, and people work with you. But just because we don't see these people in person, we've seen them on the online space, in the virtual world, doesn't negate the fact they're still human beings. So I think this is something else we need to learn, and we are too. We are learning the skills as we grow. So be patient with yourself and have compassion for your past mistakes and wherever you are right now. If you, a lot of people, want to be where they want to be. They want to be somewhere like 5 years ago, and they're still tugging along. But I think it's having patience for yourself and knowing that everything's unfolding in the right way, and you're learning skills as you go. So that was number 5. What's the final step of this simple system?
The final one is E for expect success. And it sounds silly, and I always get a kind of a laugh out of people when they're like, of course I expect success. But most people, when they're doing a lot of things with their business, they don't hold the belief in themselves. They don't hold that. So
you won't get a laugh at me. I being a mindset coach, I know how important that is. So I think it's probably the most important step of all from where I am, because without that belief in there, none of the other 5 steps would make any difference whatsoever.
No, not a lick of difference, right? Yeah. You have to expect success because you have to trust and know and believe in yourself that you are capable of creating what you're desiring to create, right? Yeah. You're capable of creating the clients, you're capable of creating the revenue, you're capable of creating this impact making business, that sort of thing. And if you don't hold on to that expectation of success, that was one of the biggest reminders for me, is that you'll meet so many entrepreneurs, right, that start and just fizzle out and disappear. VAs or entrepreneurs, right? They just disappear. People do not stay in things for the long game. They're already changing careers quickly, right? In the corporate world, we see that all the time. People are jumping and hopping for more pay and more flash in the pan excitement, right? And entrepreneurs, they're not different. They're humans too. They're seeking their purpose. They're looking for what they really deeply desire and want to do. But if we don't hold true to a strong mission, our vision, our values, and what we want for our business and why we're doing this, then your expectation of success starts to get weak and it starts to falter. And if you let
Mm-hmm.
that happen, then you're wallowing around in your bed, not getting up, doing the work, not, focusing on your business. You're looking at some other course you can take that's going to create the success it promises, that sort of thing. And you're not doing the dirty work of getting there and believing in yourself and trusting. You're going to fall down. You got to get up again.
Yeah, I think the final one is so important because you are going to come across obstacles. You are going to have pitfalls. And, I shared a picture recently, what I believe. I'm here and there's my, goal. I'm going to go there. But what actually happens, you go up, you go down 10 steps, you go up 3 steps, you go back 4 steps, you go up by 20 steps, then you go back by 5 steps. It's a convoluted journey. There is no, there's no beginning and end because it's a constant journey and you're constantly learning. And sometimes you think, oh my God, I've arrived. Then you think, oh my God, I'm still here. You're constantly having this uphill battle at times, but you're also dealing with your own emotions. When you are an entrepreneur, you are responsible for maintaining your emotions, for maintaining the cash flow, for maintaining, if you have a team, maintaining the team budget and making sure they have money to pay the teams and all the other apps that you've bought, or software that you've subscribed to. It's not for the faint-hearted in the long term. But having said that, I think it's about managing your emotions and managing your expectations. And the most important being from all the 6 steps I keep coming back to is belief, because if you don't believe it's going to happen, you will not have that motivation to carry on when you come across obstacles. And you will. Let's be very clear. You are going to face obstacles. There's nothing in life has ever come without some element of stretch and some element of downfall and obstacles. That's the way nature works. And it's for your favor, because without those obstacles, we will not stretch, we will not grow, we will not grow into the people we need to. And yes, being entrepreneurs, you can have other visions. Like I coaching is one, and I have property and other things that I'm doing. I've got a number of other businesses, and this is where, but I think too many people let go of certain things, because it's very easy for me to let go of coaching and go into carrying with property, because that's 10 times more profitable. Honestly, it is. The reason why I stick to my coaching is because it gives me more fun. It's more, I have my passion about it. I love talking about money. I love talking about mindset. I love talking about energy, which my property business can, with the construction work
really fast.
Yeah, honestly, there have been moments in the last few months where I've sat down and I was so upset. I was so fed up with my property business that I thought, that's it, I'm done. And I had a masterclass for my mastermind. I perked up. I got really happy. I remember that one particular day was really I remember having this conversation, went to see there was somebody on the site, came back, and I was drained and I was on the sofa, slumped out. I didn't do nothing that day. And all I did was back of my mind, I thought, oh, I've got the call in the evening. I hope I have the energy to do it. It wasn't like I have to do it. It's like, I hope I have the energy to do it. I kid you not, half an hour before, I had a power nap before, half an hour before, I got up and I was so perked up and I was bouncing off the walls and back to being happy. That showed to me why I need to do my coaching, how it's keeping me going, keeping me sane. So you can divert attention, and entrepreneurs do. That's what entrepreneurs are. They have to go and do other things. But jumping, what you refer to, I think that is where you have to stop. You need to stay with something long term. And it is, as that works out, you may have alternative businesses which can be more profitable depending on what your life goals are. But you can't be jumping like, this doesn't work, let's go here. This doesn't work, that doesn't work. Because the business, if it works for one person, it can work for you. So the only variable factor is yourself. So if this business didn't work for you, what's the likelihood of the next one working or the one after that working? And if one course didn't work for you and it worked for 10 other people, then what's the likelihood of the next course working for you?
It's hard when it's you. It's about you, right?
Yeah.
It's hard when you have to look at yourself through, in the mirror and kind of see yourself for who you are. But it's also like, we are not trees. We get to shift and change. I know when I started my business, all I did was coaching. And then it really bugged me. And I really wanted to get my hands dirty in people's business and really help them out because I could see those opportunities, right? So shifting from being a coach to a consultant in my title, even though I use coaching a lot in my business, was like this big mindset mess up for me. It was really tough. I was like, oh my gosh, what are people going to think? I'm changing who I am. And everyone, when I changed to being a consultant, was like, yeah, that makes more sense. That's what you do. Yes, you coach us. Yes, you help us get to the idea. Yes, you bring the information out from us and you bring that sparkle or whatever. But you're a consultant.
Yeah.
You will tell me what to do. You will give me the advice. You will help me get there. You will tell me what software to use, right? And I'm like, oh, so no one really cares. That's who I'm supposed to be. And it didn't hurt my business, right? Like my business is called Dorothy Villeneuve Coaching. That's my business license. That's my business title. And no one got their knickers in a knot or got upset about it. Everyone's completely fine, right? But for us, we get in the way and we start thinking, oh my gosh, what am I doing? I'm burning it all to the ground to start something new. But we're not. We get to change. You're not a tree. You're not rigid and stuck. But
You
as
get to
long as
evolve.
you have
Yeah.
as long as you have that expectation of success, as long as you believe in yourself, as long as you know you're valuable and you have people around you that help you with that, that shake you out. And like you said, I love that concept of whenever you're having a crappy day or whenever things are kind of going sideways and you get on a call with a client or you do some work. For me, like sometimes I'll just be stuck into somebody's Kartra and I'll be designing their sales page, right? So I'll be working with graphics and doing all this stuff. And like I'll walk out of my office and think, I feel awesome. And all too often, we don't pay attention to that,
Yeah.
right? Not everything we do is going to make us feel awesome. Not everything we make money from is going to make us feel awesome, but a darn large percentage of what you do should make you feel energized. And that means you're doing what you're passionate about. And that's what's important. And that's where you were meant to serve in this world, right? Yeah. Energetically, you will probably agree.
100%, 100%. I think that, and like I said, you can have other avenues. You can have other businesses. And like I've had a calling for another business that I'm looking into at the moment. And they are extensions of who I am, but my core, I know the one thing that I'm most passionate about, the one I will continue for the rest of my life, my days, and I'll probably die, it would be coaching, because I love talking about mindset, I love talking about money, I love talking about energy. So you have to, I think you can pivot and you can change your role slightly, but the expectation of success is very important. And what you feel good about, what makes you happy. And, it's not just, I mean, a lot of people will think, well, me expecting $1 million will make me happy. Well, no, really. You won $1 million. For example, me winning $1 million in terms of lottery doesn't do much for me. But making $1 million in a business, yay! I want to jump for joy. So it's what makes you happy. I think that's it. So you expect success in your passion, in whatever you do, which makes you happy. I think that's probably my 2 pence to it.
Oh, absolutely. And it comes full circle, because when you have that expectation of success and you start to value yourself, the sales mindset part makes a lot more sense, right? You start to be like, heck yeah, I got some damn value. I'm worthy. I deserve to be paid for what I'm doing. I'm creating results for people. This is important. And it cycles, the circle goes over again, right? And you start to realize, oh, this kind of framework, it works. I remember hating my framework and thinking like, I get it. This is what I do every day and it keeps me in line and I operate inside it. And then I kind of like tossed it to the side and never talked about it for a while. And then I was talking to a client and she was like, remember when you taught me your simple framework and you told me like I had to look at things through a lens of sales and see value in what I did and all these things, right? And I was like, yeah. And she's like, that's one of the most valuable things I've learned from you. Is just to keep things simple, to go straight forward, to look at things through the lens of sales, to implement stuff daily, to always be doing like one thing for my business every day. If I'm working it as a side hustle, get something done, to monetize what I do, to actually tell people, hey, you can buy this from me. And that's what we do, to produce value, to go out there so that people visually see me and know, keep things simple, leverage simple systems, and then constantly hold on to that expectation of success. And I was like, yeah, actually, I kind of like my framework too. It's not terrible, but it took a while. It came to me in my earlier days as just like, this is what I'm going to do. And then over time, it's evolved into this is something that people can really work with. This is a framework that works.
Yeah, for sure. Well, on that note, we're going to wrap up. So any final parting, actually, if you can give a summary of all 6 steps very, very quickly.
Sure. It's sales mindset, implement daily, produce value, leverage simple systems, and expect success.
Awesome. So where can we find you, Dorothy? How can we connect to you on the internet?
I'm most active on Instagram. You can find me at Dorothy Villeneuve Coaching. You can also find me at my website. It's dorothyvilleneuve.com. And if you hang out on Facebook, I have Dorothy Villeneuve Coaching is my Facebook page, but that will take you to my private community, which is Wildly Confident Sales. And inside that private community, I do weekly trainings. There's regular posts. It's a really fun community of really aligned people who are all striving for their sales goals too. And they don't think sales is a dirty word. So it's fun in there.
Awesome. If you're watching, actually, if you're listening to us on the podcast, then all the links that Dorothy's just mentioned would be in the show notes. And if you're watching us on YouTube, then down below in the description section, we have all the links for Dorothy as well. Go check her out. She is amazing, and hopefully she can help you with your sales. Well, thank you so much, Dorothy, for being such an amazing guest. It's been absolutely fabulous talking to you.
Yes, wonderful conversation. Thank you so much, Gull. It was great catching up.
Thank you. And thank you for listening to me and Dorothy today on Money Talkies. I will be back with another amazing guest, finding out how you and I can build a better business. Until the next time, this is Gull signing off. Take care and bye for now.